Hi there, it's Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com here with a Heroes vs. Monsters introduction, my comments on what I think about this duel deck, if I'm going to buy it or not, just like I said, my overall feelings of this, what the price value of it I think will be, and etc, etc, etc. First of all, we have the two cards that were already spoiled, were Sun Titan and the World Eater, Polo Kronos the World Eater. And sorry if this is pretty bad, if you can see or not, I'm not sure. But Sun Titan's a good old favorite of mine. I did think it was going to go up in value, as you do see it every once in a while in some modern decks. But just the casual appeal of Sun Titan is very, very good, and it goes into a lot of EDH decks, commander decks, and whatnot. But with reprinting in a $20 duel deck, this is really, really going to hurt the Sun Titan price. Even though I don't think this is going to be quite as popular as Sorin versus T-Ball, I definitely think this deck will be popular. It's very flavorful. The decks look pretty fun to play. Not as powerful as either Sorin or T-Ball, but it seems pretty cool. But we did get some really cool spoilers with it. Let's talk about, we already know about Polo Kronos, the World Eater, which is, finally we have the exact wording, which has been controversial for a while now. Some people said the wording was different than what it was going to be, but now that we have the exact wording here, it's a 5/5 for 4. So right there, it's like a Dead Bridge Goliath, and I do believe the ability is a little bit better than Dead Bridge Goliath, but not by much. A lot of people thought that this monstrosity ability would be like Bonfire, but it ends up not being like Bonfire. It is just divided as you choose among any number of creatures your opponent controls. Plus, it doesn't do damage to player either. So, you know, fourth turn, as soon as if you ramp this out, you could get it out third turn for a 5/5. But then its ability to go monstrosity, which is double X and green. You put X 1/1 counters on it, and then you get to deal X damage divided any way you choose among any number of target creatures your opponent controls, and then they deal damage to you. So it's not a worthless ability. You will end up probably spending, if you spend 5 mana, that's 2 damage, so you can shock a creature, and it becomes a 7/7. So it's not a horrible ability. Like I said, it's very, 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 it reminds me a lot of Dead Bridge Goliath, because you're getting a 5/5 for 4, which is awesome. And then you have some sort of added ability from it. So I'm not in the group that with everyone else that just thinks this card is awful. It probably will see play. I mean, now we have 2 5/5s in green for 4 mana. Just that alone is going to put the aggro players, it's going to give a green aggro deck viability post rotation with those 2 cards. So I like it. It's not like I said, not the best of card. It doesn't feel like it mythic to me. It feels more like a rare. It feels a lot like Dead Bridge Goliath. Anyway, but let's go on to the cards that were spoiled here from the Theros set. We're thinking these are in Theros. This isn't 100%. I don't think it's 100% accurate that they're from Theros. But I wouldn't understand. I mean, they could be from Born of the Gods and whatnot, but I doubt it. I'm going to go out and say these are probably Theros cards. And the first one is Annex and Cymede. This is a cool card. It's 3 mana for a 3/2 with First Strike and Vigilance. So people do not. Right there is just, that's a solid card. That is a very solid red-white, and there's a lot of interactions with red and white at the moment. Legion, what is it called? The enchantment where you exile creatures, and it gets +1/+1, or +1 if it's red, +0/+1 if it's +1/+0 if it's a red creature, +0/+1 if it's a white creature, and whatnot, and then it'll protect this dude. But I've always liked, I just really wish that this would have been out with Rally the Peasants, as that seems like it's one of the better cards for Rally the Peasants. But you better believe it, I'm going to build a young Pyromancer deck around Annex and Cymede, where you get a 1/1 creature every time you cast an instant sorcery, and then you get a +1/+1 whenever you basically cast an instant or sorcery on Annex of Cymede. All your creatures get +1/+1, and I'm sure I'll figure out a way how to break that. You still have Dynacharge right now, and whenever you cast a spell that targets, see, Dynacharge does, Overload still does not target though, but at least you can cast it for 1, and then all your creatures get, I don't know, maybe Dynacharge isn't the right one I'm thinking about here, but I think the card will see play. Like I said, a 3/2 for 3 First Strike Vigilance is not bad at all. That is very powerful, very, very powerful card, and the heroic actually works with him/her as well. It will give him +1/+1 every time he/she attack, or he/she is targeted by a spell or ability. So yeah, it's definitely not a bad card whatsoever. Going to the Cavalry Pegasus. It's whenever Cavalry Pegasus attacks, she's attacking human gains flying until end of turn. Again, it's probably in the wrong set. There will be plenty of humans though. You might see humans actually as a game. What the word am I thinking about? The archetype. There we go. That's the word. Sorry, my brain is kind of fuzzy right now. And the Pegasus, I doubt, will go in that deck though. It'll be a great draft card though. Ordeal of Perforos. Decent card. When the enchanted creature attacks, put a +1 counter on it. Then it has 3 or more counters. You sack it. This +1 counter stay on the creature, and then you get a 3 damage to start creature player. Again, a very awesome draftable card. Won't see standard play. Destructive Revelry is kind of cool. It's destroy target artifact or enchantment and deals 2 damage to that permanent's controller. In red-green decks, this will absolutely replace any need for naturalize and will work kind of in a red-green burn. I think Destructive Revelry will see play, so it's a kind of cool card. I'm looking forward to it. And then we have the Seder Hedonist, and it reminds me a lot, like, I think Tinderwall, is that the card? But Tinderwall gets more mana. No, it gets about the same net mana. Tinderwall is 1 green for a 0/3 wall or something like that, and then you can sack it, add 2 red. This you have to have a red and sack to add 3 red. So, I mean, it might see, I'm sure someone will combo this off in some sort of deck here and there. So those are the spoiled cards. Nothing too shiny except for the Annex and Simede, which I think is a cool card. Again, 3/2 first strike vigilance. How can you not like that card? It will see some Boros aggro, I'm sure. Again, wrong set. It's in the. I wish this was in Boros Humans right now. It'd be very clutch. It could actually even replace like Silverblade Paladin or something, as it can get quite strong if you had, like I said, Rally the Peasants, and this dude would have been awesome. Anywho, let's go on to the Heroes deck. This is kind of small, I understand that. You can zoom in here. I wish I could bring it up bigger. Also, this is all brought to you by Cool Stuff. I'm on Gathering Magic's website right here, so you can check out gatheringmagic.com for the full article. Yeah, and look at my videos on the right-hand side here too. Good guys. Love these guys. They've been very, very good supporters of Roguedeckbuilder and of the Playing on the Budget series that I do for them. So go check them out. Anywho, so we're on to the Heroes. I wish they would have had some cooler lands. You get a Boros Guildgate. That's about as boring as manageable, especially since they've been reprinted like crazy from Dragon's Maze, or printed like crazy in Dragon's Maze and in Return to Ravnica. And then we have a new Benalia, which is okay. It comes with Battlefield. You get a Scry. Not bad at all. You can set up your next draw a little better. And then the Annex and Simede, but I'm just going to go through here and see if there's anything interesting. Figure of Destiny is kind of cool, but it was just printed in Modern Masters, but it's a great card. And this will, I mean, it's still worth, I think this card's still worth around $5. I'll have to check and see. I think you can actually, we can load this up here and see here exactly how much it goes for. Yeah, about $4.55, so $3.50 to $5. Right now, and eventually it will go back up in value in the long term. I doubt they'll ever reprint this again now that it is in a dual deck and in Modern Masters. And we've got a Freewind Equinaut, not too glamorous, and that's not very glamorous. We got Kamal Pit Fighter is the other rare. It's kind of a cool card, kind of expensive though. It's a haster that can deal 3 damage to our creature player, or get in there for 6. It's a 6 mana, so it's a cool card. Not the best of card though. And then the other rare is Nobilis of War. Attack creature you get +2/+0 flying 3/4. Not bad at all. In that it doesn't say other, so when it attacks, it is a 5/4. Not too shabby for a 5 mana casting cost creature. So yeah, it's a cool card. I think this is actually another card that's, I don't think this is bulk rare for sure. Let's see here. Yeah, it's $2. $2 on Cool Stuff, so not too bad. I'm sure it does see some casual appeal, and who knows, maybe Modern someday will have like a mid-range Boros deck. Then again, Sun Titan, great card, and we have a True Fire Paladin, just barely was printed. Battle Mastery, 2 Condemns. I was hoping for 2 Path of Exiles, but Condemn, I guess, is better, more flavorful in the deck. I wouldn't say better, I'm just saying more flavorful in the Heroes versus Monsters. Then we have a Magma Jet, which actually sees Modern play. Not too bad, 2 damage and Scry. And Miraculous Recovery is kind of a cool card. I know that a lot of Commander decks actually like this a lot because you can actually, you bring a card back from your graveyard. It is only 50 cents though, so not a big deal. Then we have, let's see here, we go down the list and we have Pyrokinesis isn't a bad card. It's the Alliance red card where you can exile a card from your hand instead of paying its casting cost. The Force of Will for red, but of course it's not nearly as good as Force of Will. But it's a $2 uncommon right now, so not bad. So you exile a red spell instead of paying its casting cost, and you can deal 4 damage divided any way you choose any number of target creatures. If this said players, this card would be nuts, but it does not. All right, so then we got Righteousness. Target blockage +7/7. It's a way to kill your monsters. And Smite the Monstrous. Har har. Goes perfectly in the deck's theme. And an Undying Rage, which is kind of like a Rancor for red. It gets +2/+2 and can't block, and you keep getting it back every time it goes. And a Winds of Wrath. And this card actually, was that a rare back in the day? I can't remember if it was. Yes, it was a Winds of Wrath, and it's $4 out of stock. So that's another one of the moneyer cards you get from this. So let's go into monsters. We again have the Llanowar Reborn, which is the Graft. It's a Graft card, but it comes into play tapped. It's kind of cool. You get a +1/+1 counter on a card. So early game it kind of sucks. Late game it's okay. And then we have a Kazunda Refuge. Wonder why they did the Guildgate here and the Refuge here instead of the Guildgate and Guildgate. Anyway, and then we have a Scarred Rage Pits, which is a cool card. It kind of like has a Wolf Run. And then we have for the rares a Conquering Manticore. It's cool. It does a Zealous Conscript ability, but it does not target permanents, just creatures. It is a flying 5/5, but I think Zealous Conscripts is just so much better in this card. It is a big monster though. Big Manticore. And then a Crater Hellion. Crater Hellion's kind of cool. When it comes into play, it deals 4 damage to each other creature, but you have to pay the echo cost, so you end up spending a total of 16 mana if you want to keep this dude alive. But if nothing else, it does 4 damage to each other creature for 6 mana, and like a huge Pyroclasm. I'm trying to think about it, like a Magma Quake. It would cost the exact same as a Magma Quake, right? But it does to all creatures, each other creature. Or each other creature. So it doesn't even do damage to itself, even though it would survive it. But again, you have to pay the echo cost. And then a Crown Karatok for an uncommon, Deadly Recluse. There we go. And here's a cool card. Deuce of Calamity. I'm actually building a modern deck with this. It's a 1-of in my modern deck. It's my finisher. It's a pod deck. It kind of is a pod deck. It's a pseudo-pod land destruction deck where you can tutor a ton of land destructions. I don't know how well it will work, but I'm going to show it on my channel pretty soon. And this Deuce of Calamity is definitely in there. And let's check it out. It's $6, so that's not too bad. Not a bad little pickup here for, again, you're getting your value out of this. That's what's so cool about all the dual decks is you do get all the value out of them. And then we have the Crowson Tusker, which is, I do believe it's an EDH staple. I'm not sure. The Crowson Tusker, what it does is when you cycle it, you may search your library for a basic land card and reveal that card and put it in your hand. So you get basically 2 for 1. So you get you cycle it, you get a draw card and you get a land. So it's draw a card and search your library for a land card and put it in your hand. So card advantage, not bad at all. And then another rare is the Skargan Firebird. And it's bulk rare, Bloodthirst 3, and you can turn it from graveyard to your hand if your opponent was dealt damage. So yeah, but it's bulk rare. These cards don't cost anything. So other than that, well, we have a Troll Ascetic, and that's a cool card too. It sees some fringe modern play every now and again, and I do believe it's not bulk rare either. I do believe it does. Okay, a $1.25. So it has been printed in a couple. Was it a Duel of the Planeswalker promo at one point? Anyway. So that's pretty much it. Pretty much out of the decks. You got a Beast Within. This is kind of cool because this actually keeps going up in value because of the deck, because of the Living End deck. And then we have Fire's Yama is a cool card. All your creatures have haste. I do believe that it is an EDH playable card as well. A Pyroclasm, been reprinted a gazillion times. It's not worth anything. And a Volt Charge, 2 Volt Charges. So not pretty cool deck. I think it's. I like it better than, I don't know, better than Golgari versus Izzet, I think. I'm not quite sure. It's on par with, it sure isn't as Sorin versus T-Ball, but I think it is on par with Golgari versus Izzet. And there's some cool cards. I definitely think it's worth picking up. It will be, again, 20 bucks, so not bad at all. And you can pick these up at like Walmart. It's they stock them, Walmart, Target, stuff like that. So anyway, this is Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com. Thanks for watching.